Hello everyone, I'm Boris, and today I'm going to take you to the dark world of horror. Get ready for 3 chilling stories that'll make you think twice before you turn out the light. Imagine driving alone on a desolate road late at night with your fuel gauge dangerously low. What would you do if you were stranded in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by darkness and rushing traffic? Well, let me tell you a story that'll make you think twice about seeking help in the unknown. It was a cold, moonless night as I found myself driving along a desolate highway. The needle on my fuel gauge hovered just above empty, and panic began to creep in. With no gas stations in sight, I made a decision that would change my life forever. I veered off the highway and ventured into the dense woods, hoping to find someone who could assist me. As I trekked through the eerie forest, the chilling wind whistled through the trees, sending shivers down my spine. Just when despair started to consume me, I saw a flickering light in the distance. Heart pounding, I followed the glow until I discovered a solitary figure sitting on a fallen log. A woman, dressed in tattered clothes. Approaching her cautiously, I gathered the courage to ask for help. The woman turned her head slowly, her eyes piercing through the darkness. She spoke in a soft, almost ethereal voice. "My house is just a little further into the woods. Door's open, you can stay there for the night." Grateful for her kindness, I thanked her profusely and set off in the direction she'd pointed. The closer I got, the more uncertain I became. The woods grew darker, and an unsettling stillness enveloped the air. Finally, I arrived at the spot where the woman claimed her house stood, but there was nothing. Just an empty clearing shrouded in darkness. Panic surged through me as I frantically retraced my steps to find the woman. But she'd vanished, without a trace. There was no sign she'd ever been there. My mind raced with fear and confusion. How could this be? The inexplicable disappearance of the woman left me questioning my own sanity. Determined to escape the nightmarish trouble, I hurried back to my car, only to find it illuminated by a pale light. To my astonishment, the fuel tank was full, as if by some otherworldly intervention. Overwhelmed by a mix of relief and terror, I quickly climbed inside, turned on the ignition, and sped away from the accursed place. To this day, I still do not know why all this happened, and who filled my car's fuel tank. Wow, that was a spine-chilling encounter, wasn't it? But our journey into the realm of horror is far from over. Get ready for the next story, where a forgotten graveyard will reveal its darkest secrets. It was a moonless night, and a thick fog veiled the desolate road ahead. Against my better judgment, I found myself venturing into the heart of darkness, drawn to the allure of the unknown. The dim glow of my headlights carved a narrow path through the mist, as if slicing through a land untouched by time. As I pressed on, an eerie silence settled over the landscape. Shadows danced worryingly, their distorted shapes playing tricks on my mind. Unease crawled up my spine, yet I couldn't resist the temptation to explore what lay ahead. Suddenly, emerging from the swirling mist, a figure stood at the roadside. A woman in a tattered white dress, her pale complexion contrasting against the darkness. Her vacant eyes locked with mine, sending a chill down my spine. With a trembling voice, she uttered a single word: "Help." Compelled by a mix of curiosity and empathy, I rolled down the window and asked her what troubled her. She whispered, "Our home is just up ahead. Follow me if you dare." Against my better judgment, I decided to follow the mysterious woman. The road twisted and turned, leading us deeper into the unknown. The fog thickened, obscuring my vision, and a gloomy presence seemed to surround us. Eventually, we arrived at an abandoned mansion, its crumbling facade hidden beneath layers of darkness and decay. The woman gestured toward the entrance, her eyes reflecting a mixture of longing and sorrow. Reluctantly, I stepped out my car, hesitantly approaching the dilapidated structure. As I crossed the threshold, the air grew heavy, as if the weight of 100 restless souls lingered within the decaying walls. Each creaking floorboard echoed through the eerie silence, amplifying the sense of dread that clung to the air. I ventured deeper into the mansion, my heart pounding with each step. Whispers seemed to reverberate from the dilapidated hallways, as if the house itself held secrets too dreadful to be uttered. The woman guided me to a dimly lit room, its contents obscured by a tattered curtain. With trembling hands, I pulled back the curtain, and my blood turned to ice. Before me lay an ancient, ornate coffin, its lid partially ajar. A cold breath stroked my neck. I turned round to see if that woman was still there. She was gone. Summoning every ounce of courage, I sprinted through the tangled corridors, pursued by the anguished cries of the restless souls. As I burst through the front doors, the fog lifted, and I found myself back on the desolate road, my car waiting patiently. Breathing heavily, I sped away from the accursed mansion, the echoes of the supernatural trailing behind me. The memory of that harrowing night would forever haunt my dreams, a constant reminder of the thin line between the living and the dead. As the night deepens, we arrive at the final chapter of our terrifying journey. Brace yourselves for a chilling encounter on a lonely road, where a man's fateful decision to offer a ride to a stranger leads him into a web of danger and deceit. It was a moonlit night, and I found myself driving along a desolate road that stretched through miles of darkness. My senses were on high alert as I navigated the isolated route, the silence broken only by the hum of my engine. And then, amidst the solitude, I saw her, a woman standing on the side of the road. She was breathtakingly beautiful, her presence like a siren's call in the night. Unable to resist her enchanting allure, I slowed down and offered her a ride. With a coy smile, she gracefully entered the car, and I felt a strange mix of excitement and apprehension. As we drove, the woman engaged me in light conversation, her words laced with an undeniable charm. But then, in an instant, the atmosphere shifted. She reached into her bag, and to my horror, pulled out a gleaming rifle. Panic surged through my veins as she pressed the cold metal against my side. With a steely determination, she commanded me to follow her every instruction, warning of dire consequences should I disobey. My heart raced as I complied, my mind consumed by a whirlwind of fear and confusion. How had this simple act of kindness taken such a horrifying turn? Under her menacing gaze, I relinquished all my belongings, surrendering to the relentless grip of her control. She directed me to an abandoned house in the depths of darkness, an ominous silhouette against the night sky. Every fibre of my being screamed to escape, but for the threat she posed kept me paralyzed. As we arrived at the decaying structure, she stepped out the car, her eyes fixated on mine. With a chilling whisper, she warned me not to involve the police, threatening the lives of not only myself but also my loved ones. She claimed to be part of a notorious gang, and in a sheer moment of terror, she pointed toward a window of the dilapidated house. Trembling, I turned to look, and what I saw froze my blood. Men, lurking in the shadows, peered out from each window, their eyes filled with malice. The very air seemed to whisper of the imminent danger that awaited me if I defied her commands. In that moment, instinct took over. With adrenaline coursing through my veins, I made a split-second decision. I bolted from the car, leaving the woman behind, and sprinted towards the safety of my home. Fear propelled me forward. I dared not glance back, my mind consumed by the chilling reality of what just transpired. That night remains etched in my memory as a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. I still feel a shiver crawl down my spine whenever I pass that forsaken house, and I'm forever grateful that I escaped the clutches of that nefarious encounter. And so, our journey into the realm of horror comes to an end. These stories serve as a stark reminder that even in the ordinary, darkness can take hold. As you go about your days, remember to tread cautiously, for the line between safety and terror is often thinner than we dare to imagine. And if you've encountered any such situation, then feel free to share your story in the comment section below.